You want to check our Twitch stream? Try joining the Wi-Fi. It's C2E2 2026. Yeah. What are the odds that this is good? That's pretty good, right? I'm going to try to switch to the other setup in between the next two panels. I tried to make this not messy. You want to let Ryan know we got a spot if he wants it? Was the girl last year also named Atomic Blonde? Like, that's just like, well, so he has the same shtick as last year.
Left stop in the center, center squiggle. All right, turn your light off. Put your phone on vibrate, put it in your pocket. All right, who out there is right-handed? Make some noise. All right, who's left-handed? Make some noise. Who's ambidextrous? Good for you. Take your dominant hand, put it in the air. Hand in the air, there you go. Now what I want you to do is I want you to make a fist, make a nice strong fist. Now, I need you all to dig down deep inside and channel your inner 90s boy band. That's right, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees, New Kids on the Block, whatever. O-Town. I want you to pull your fist out nice and dramatic with a twist. You ready for it? Here we go. Pull it down with the music. In the 90s. Oh yeah. Stop right by your face. Now what I want you to do is I want you to shake your fist to the beat of the music. That's going to be beats 2 and 4. Here we go. Nice. Now what I want you to do is I want you to look at your fist. Look at your nice strong fist. Look how beautiful your fist is. Start shaking it just a little bit. Your fist has been misbehaving. You don't like what it's been doing. Everybody, C2E2, scream at your fist. And fist bump go. All right, switch to the other side. Oh, switch back. That feels weird. Not that? Yeah. Both at the same time. Switch it up. It's like we're doing Zumba. C2E2, who's ready for a show today? Turn to somebody you don't know, give them a high five. High five a stranger. I know it's hard to do in the pitch black. Find somebody else you don't know, give a fist bump a stranger. All right, now turn to somebody you do know. Grab them by the face and scream at them. All right, that is the energy that we're looking for today. Who's excited to meet Elizabeth Olsen today? All right. So, here's the thing. She is a professional actress. That means she feeds off your energy. So the more energy you give her, the more energy she's going to give you. The more energy she gives you, the better the show is. The better the show is, they bring her back. They bring her back, we get to see her again. Can you help us with that, yes or yes? So here's what I want you to do. We're going to bring out our moderator. We're going to clap, make some noise for our moderator, then he's going to say Elizabeth Olsen, and then I want you all to lose your ever-loving vibes. I need you to yell. I need you to clap. I need you to cheer. I need you to toss a baby in the air.
No, baby, don't toss a baby.
All right, don't toss the babies. Don't do that. We're not going to do that. But just want you all to show her how excited you are that she's made her journey all the way here. Because I don't know if you know this, how many of you are not from Chicago? You did not come here by a car. How many of you flew on some kind of airplane? Congratulations.
Very times.
You made it. So, it's very difficult for her to get here, so let's make sure we show her all the love she deserves. Can you do that for us, yes or yes?
Day 2, C2E2, how was the first day? You guys have a good time so far? Excellent, excellent. I just got in here a little cold, but other than that, you guys are doing great. I love Chicago. I love C2E2. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out, filling up this hall. We've got a really special person waiting in the wings to talk to. Are you ready for this, guys? My name's Josh Horowitz. I host a podcast called Happy, Sad, Confused. Lizzie has been on the podcast a bunch over the years. She's the best. I know why you're here. You love Marvel, yes? You love the MCU, yes? You love Wanda Maximoff, yes? And do you love Elizabeth Olsen, everybody? Lizzie, come on out, Elizabeth Olsen, everybody! Can you hear Lizzie?
I might be talking a little softly. Hi everyone, this is wild. I feel like we walked into a rave and now I'm gonna like ruin the party. I have a cold, so excuse me. Don't feel bad for me, but I'm okay. But it's so, you guys, it's such a great crowd. I was just watching this morning on ESPN, they're doing like the national cheerleaders competition. And like, this is bigger than that energy right now.
You've got that beat. At the end of this, you're going to do a cheerleading competition for all of us. You're going to do a demonstration.
Yeah, actually the music was making me want to do like, I wish I could like break dance on my head for everyone right now, you know? Like, just to like really keep up with the like amped up energy.
Oh my God! Yeah, thank you guys for making us feel welcome, for making Lizzie feel welcome.
We're sitting far on a couch because I don't want to get him sick also.
Oh, good.
This was awkward.
So, Chicago history for you? Have you spent much time here? Have you ever shot in Chicago?
No, I have been here, I think only once before. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
This is already an emotional roller coaster.
I know. I was really excited to explore too, but I got off the plane and was just sick. So I had a huge list from a friend who was working on the Bear here, and shout out Sarah Ramos, and she gave me the most extensive list, and I can't do anything, so I'm just trying to sleep.
If you get bored of my questions, just feel free to nap. Let's talk about your Comic-Con, your C2E2 kind of like history. You've done the Comic-Cons over the years. By
Yes.
my math, I think it was 2013 for Godzilla was probably the first time you did a
convention.
A convention, right?
In San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Because that was the year
it
before. Then you went back for Ultron the year after, by my math.
Yeah, I'm trying to think I don't know which one came first, but that would probably make sense.
Do you remember anything about, I mean, we're going to get into the casting and Godzilla and really Wanda, but like I'm curious, entering this kind of a world, do you remember what it felt like to step onto a stage and feel the kind of love you just felt the first time?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was really overwhelmed and I think scared because I don't, like big crowds are overwhelming to me. And then I think I was kind of like really taken away by how positive. Because big crowds to me like usually mean something kind of scary and like something could go wrong and people stampede. Well, you know, not always, obviously, but this is like a fear of
It's going to be okay, guys.
But I think that's what was really the thing that I walked away with, was just how positive a feeling you have coming to them. Because I think they were very intimidating to me at first. And yeah, they're just like a really happy place.
Are you a neurotic generally? Do you have a lot of phobias and fears?
The funny thing is I feel like when it comes to like the spectrum of neuroses, I'm like kind of on the healthy side, but then when I start having conversations, I start to think about the things I preemptively fear are different than others. so
there are less of them, but they're more unique.
Yeah, they're. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of like, I guess I think it's normal to have a healthy amount of fear. But
Do we want to
but
list
I
any
think
of them?
I do lean to the side of neuroses.
What's the most fun neurotic tendency you've got?
I don't know, like again, like I think I'm fine. Like if my husband were here, he'd be like spritzing down the sofa before sitting. But like, so I guess I have a bad person to compare it to because he's a freak. I don't know. What are the weird ones? Like I don't know. Like I don't use a hand wipe when I go onto a plane. Like I'm not, you know. I think like germs are good. And because I don't usually get sick.
That's why we
Here
have
I
6 feet in windows, yeah. You've also, over the years, I mean, especially in recent years, you've done some of these with the beloved Paul Bettany.
I have.
He's the best.
Yeah. Actually, I always like feel sad when I do these and he's not here.
Oh, come on, no, sorry. What have you guys like settled into like a dynamic? You have it kind of like the pitter patter down, like who fulfills what role, especially when you're doing press.
Well, Paul like usually like has bits that I know how long they last. And so I just like allow him to do his bits and then I like speak less. And so that's kind of what ends up happening. And he's also incredibly articulate and such a great storyteller. So I become really lazy and rely on him to be the entertainer.
It's just the accent, though. He could say anything and it sounds like cool.
He's such a good storyteller.
Yeah.
And he speaks with like he really is extensive with how he tells a story, and then he finishes it with a button. And like I just don't have that skill.
He's I'm sitting down with him in New York in a few weeks for the podcast. Is there anything that you want to get off your chest, anything you want to say to Paul that hasn't been expressed yet? You're in a safe place.
Well, I think what I would like to understand is how he's aging in reverse. Because he's doing something. Like, like whatever those weird conspiracy theories are about children's blood. And like, Paul's doing something that I'm not aware of.
This is where the rumor starts today. Paul Bettany, I don't know for a fact, but he does enjoy children's blood from time to time.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's just wild after working with him for over a decade now, and he just like looks better every year. Not like why am I up here just like objectifying him? I should have something that's more like thoughtful. I'm really excited for his show.
Yeah.
I think I know he's really proud of it, and I know he's really excited to share it. And I think he feels like it's a really great rounding out of kind of like the tripod or the whatever that we made with WandaVision and Agatha. And I think he thinks it really just kind of sticks the landing. So I'm really excited about that for him.
We all were very excited about that. All right, so let's go back to some of your beginnings. Even as a kid, just I'm curious, like what you were into as a kid. You weren't necessarily a comic book kid. Your brother was the comic book kid, right?
My brother was a comic book kid.
Yeah.
I just would go to comic book stores every Tuesday when he would get his new releases after school. But what I was into, I mean, it was kind of connected to like what he was into as well. But like I would watch him play Zelda as if I were watching a movie or something. As like a little sister looking up to the brother. But I was really into Star Wars from a very young age. Yeah, at 5 years old, you put me in front of episode 4, 5, 6, it doesn't matter. I was just glued to the television. Like that and Return to Oz. Yeah. Like things that were probably, or like Gremlins, just things that were like disturbing.
You go back and look at Gremlins.
And imaginative.
Yeah, Gremlins, both Return to Oz and Gremlins, they're kind of disturbing for kids.
Yeah, like the wheelies are insane. Yeah. But I think I loved the imaginative world of those types of films and the creativity, and then my friends and I would make like spoofs off of them. And these are like single digit ages. Like,
right.
I could just sit and watch these movies forever. I remember gifting my dad an Indiana Jones box set for his birthday or Christmas or something one year, and I was sick, I guess, home from school, and I opened it before and watched it all, and I was like, and gifted him like an unwrapped Indiana Jones box set.
As a Wizard of Oz, Return to Oz fan, where are you at on Wicked? Did you Wicked up?
No, I learned about Wicked from the movies. Okay. I never saw the musical. I didn't realize how intelligent of a story it was about, literal. And there's a goat that's quite literally a scapegoat, and I was like, wow, this is amazing for children. It was like very intelligent and literary, and I never saw the musical.
A couple, I think as I recall from past conversations with me and others, you've mentioned a couple folks that we've lost in recent years too as kind of like idols. I think like Redford and Diane Keaton, were those actors kind of big for you growing up as well?
Oh, huge, yeah. Redford for so many things. Also like what he did behind the camera or like offset. Sundance Institute was a massive part of starting my career, and I didn't get to meet him though.
So you never crossed paths either at Sundance or through Marvel? No, didn't happen.
No, but I just think it's amazing what he did with his life and his legacy, and such an admirer of his work. And then Diane is just, I think it's hard to think of like any actress who isn't influenced by her in some way. She was such an individual, and I don't know, she just made you like smile and laugh, and I don't know, she made you comfortable as an audience member, and she was so specific, and so those are great. Again, someone I never met, but I'm like kind of okay with that. I wish I had, but I feel like I have like such specific relationships with these people you've never met.
Totally.
Which I think we can all relate to in some way, whether it's like an athlete or whatever.
Yeah. So you talk about Redford and Sundance. That's so the first part of your career. Yeah. It's Marcy May Marlene, and these Sundance kind of friendly movies, and then we transition Godzilla, and then into Wanda. Yeah. So Godzilla's the first kind of like big scale thing. Talk to me a little bit about like the learning curve on that one. I mean, you're working with Gareth, who's a unique filmmaker, in that he kind of has a guerrilla style by the standards of big scale movie making.
Yeah.
Did that kind of make it more comfortable for you?
I think so. It was almost like a stepping stone to how Marvel works, because Gareth was shooting everything practically.
Right.
So I never actually worked with a blue or green screen. You're looking at like city buildings, looking at a window for an eyeline for Godzilla, as opposed to being on a set where you're pretending to be outside. But yeah, the Godzilla was, I don't know, there was some, again, like crowds or whatever, but like there was quite a lot of like large scenes with extras, and it was quite a lot of choreography, but everyone had to look like chaos, but it's organized chaos. And right. I don't know, I think more about me not quite understanding how to do that. Sorry. I think about that a lot when I think about the Godzilla set. But that was such a wild cast.
I know, Bryan Cranston was amazing in that.
Angela Binoche at the beginning, it was a really amazing group of people that came together for that film. And now those franchises just have continued, I think. Right? Because did they just have is it the same?
The TV series, but they've also got the movie. I mean, there's the whole world.
But don't they have one that just came out that was like two of them pitted against each other?
Yeah.
Like monsters or something?
You're ready for a comeback?
Isn't that the same family as the one I was in?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's, been going on for a while, is what I'm saying.
So does that, in a way, do you think that leads to being cast as Wanda? Like, what's the sequence of events?
Actually, it was, I kind of took those meetings, those generals, around the same time. I basically was mostly, in the first few years of working, was mostly being considered for independent films, and once I started, before I would just go out for anything and everything. Didn't matter what the medium was. And then I was trying to figure out, like, why am I, like, I love Star Wars, I love Indiana Jones, like, I love Air Force One, like, I guess I love Harrison Ford.
Why is every film she's listening to Harrison Ford movie? I love Witness.
I just love Harrison Ford. And so I was just trying to figure out, like, how can I, like, I'm kind of curious how those films are made, as much as I loved making independent films. So I met with these bigger companies, like Legendary at the time, and Marvel, and it just kind of timed out that way.
Yeah.
And then it also timed out that, like, Aaron and I were both being considered for both of those, which was really fun for us.
Do you remember the sequence of events, like how you found out? Like, so you meet with Joss, I believe, at first,
Yeah, I met
right?
with Joss, yeah.
And
Well, I met with Marvel generally, and
you
then
got
I met
General,
with Joss.
and then
Yeah.
Joss, and then famously, correct me if I'm wrong, you go in, you don't know what you're going in for
With Joss.
with Joss.
No idea.
Your brother kind of helps you prep, says, hey,
Yeah.
they're thinking of maybe
was-
it's Gamora or something.
He was saying Guardians characters. Yeah, I wasn't prepped for Scarlet Witch. He was saying Guardians characters, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So and then, like, how in depth did you get in that? That wasn't even an audition. That's a conversation with Joss.
It was high tea. Joss being, an Anglo lover.
Right.
But we had tea, and he basically was explaining the character to me, the history of the character, and then the thing I probably said too many times, but he also said, like, you'll open up the comic books and you'll see a woman in a red leotard with a crown on, and she won't be dressed like that.
Little did he know.
Little did he know, 8 years later, we would be trying to match it perfectly.
And then,
Yeah.
and was Aaron on board at that point? Like, what was the conversation? Because, I mean, you go from husband and wife to brother and sister. No judgments, all good. It's the movies. But did that give a little bit of a comfort level? Again, you're entering a whole new world, but at least you know Aaron. You're on set. You kind of have a little familiarity.
Yeah, I feel like, I'm trying to remember how it worked. I think he and I were talking about it during reshoots of Godzilla that we had to do. And it was more of the conversation of, are you really doing it? All really.
Are you in?
If you're
Are you in?
really
Are you in?
doing it. And we were both really excited, and I think equally intimidated, because the Avengers for the first film had already come out and was such a huge success. Which I think was really, the Iron Man films were such a huge success, and same with, I think at that point there might have been 2 Thors, 1 Captain America, I think.
And a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But there was such a huge fan response to these films, so I think it was more intimidating to go into Marvel than it was just doing Godzilla, because that was kind of the first remake of Godzilla, and not the first, I mean, in a while. Like, there's the one that they did with Matthew Broderick, that was like,
The Roland Emmerich one.
yeah. So it was definitely a more intimidating thing for Aaron and I to come in and step into shoes that we already know were already beloved.
Yes. On the other hand, like, you have the comfort of being part of an ensemble.
Yes.
And little did you know, again, like, that it's a relatively small part at first. I mean, your first appearance.
I knew Aaron wasn't coming back after the first one.
Right.
And so...
Spoiler alert, sorry.
Spoiler, sorry. Anyone here who hasn't seen Age of Ultron, I just ruined it for you. I knew that was that. I was only signed up for a cameo and one more. So I didn't know what my destiny was going to be with them either.
Do you remember, like, the first, so you have, like, what must have been, I imagine, a day or two, just the cameo at the end of Civil War. That's not even, you don't have a line in that, so maybe you don't have to make too many choices, but you have to start to make some choices.
Oh, I
about the
loved
character.
that. Yeah. That end scene. What do they call them? Like, do they just end?
Post-credit.
Post-credits.
Yep.
Was so fun. And it was, it was like you got to establish this language physically, and kind of this way that you're just going to start making choices at this point. It was while we were about to go straight into filming Ultron, so the prep was kind of the same. But Joss really knew how she moved. I know when he would write it, he would do her hand gestures. Like he was very specific that he didn't want her to be throwing punches. He wanted her to have her own physical language. And so he hired a choreographer that to this day works on all the Marvel films, Jenny White. And she also choreographed Barbie. She's been doing very well. But Joss articulated his physicality to Jenny, and then Jenny reinterpreted it, and then she and I created this other movement. And so it was a really creative, physical experience, and a different kind of training. And then eventually I became more connected to this stunt community in the later movies, because we were kind of just doing our own thing before.
I feel like as you started to describe it, you started to Wanda started to come through a little bit. It's like your head tilt, it was starting to come out. How has that evolved, the physicality, in terms of the hand movements, the mannerisms? Is every project kind of a further exploration? You don't want to replicate, but you want to honor what you've done before?
Yeah, totally. I mean, we always want it to become more fluid, basically, especially in Doctor Strange. She really needed to be owning a whole new ability that she never had before. She had been training and teaching herself, and so it's the other thing I'm always trying to think of, not so much about the physicality, but I always am hoping that we get to learn a different aspect of her. I know we like returning to characters because there's something comforting as well. So you know a bit what you're going to get with Tony Stark, and you just love it. You love how funny and fast and kind of an asshole he is, and you love it. That's why you love him. And then with her, I just felt I've always tried to just keep expanding her emotional life, or a side of her we haven't seen. And so I felt lucky that I've been able to kind of create through lines and arcs that aren't repetitive, hopefully, and for audiences. That to me is more important, is for the audiences to have something to be surprised by.
Do you feel like you've had to be your own best advocate in that? I mean, Marvel's pretty good about they understand that obviously all the characters need to progress and find that balance, but have there been points along the line where you've said we're going back to the well too much? Can we find something a little bit different in this one?
Yes and no. You're servicing something that's so much bigger than yourself and your character. You're servicing a whole world of storytelling, and so you want to honor that and respect that as well.
How's the accent evolved?
Yeah.
So Ultron, you speak.
Ultron's full Sokovian. English is your second language.
Right. I mean, you and Aaron also have to be on the same page.
Aaron having a British accent, me having an American accent, trying to figure out where we both are comfortable with sound changes. We're making up a whole new country and way they talk. So we get to make it up, which was really fun when Daniel Bruhl came in, because he had to then speak in a Sokovian accent. But we made it up. So he had to do what we made up.
Love it. So over the years, again, that's evolved, or kind of that
evolved. I mean, it was about she had spent more time at the Avengers compound. She's becoming more comfortable. She's speaking English every day. She's not speaking Sokovian. So it starts to soften. And then in WandaVision, it was about the full shift into American television, which is why we chose that, for them to be more fish out of water as characters, not necessarily people from specific countries, within the television show of WandaVision.
That makes sense.
Multiple television shows.
Totally. Okay, so we'll definitely get to WandaVision, but going in sequence here. Okay, so Ultron, you get the classic drop to your knees, scream in abject horror.
Yeah, we filmed that twice, actually.
You perfected that.
We had 2 different locations for that. So where we first shot it was at a totally different location than the one that's in the movie, and we did that during reshoots. But yeah, that was it was nice to actually get to do it a second time because I was quite intimidated to do that in front of a crew the first time.
I would think. I mean, you have to like. I've had this conversation with actors so much. So much of acting is about like shutting out the noise and feeling silly.
You're like, there's like hundreds of people around, and it's dead silent, you know, and you're supposed to just all of a sudden drop to your knees and scream, but not just scream, right? It's like an emotional like breakdown of your sibling having just been killed, and it also like the physicality of whatever you do is going to like destroy like hundreds of robots around you, and so there's like a lot of pressure on that moment.
That's what your scream does in real life too. That's how powerful a scream is.
Exactly. Watch out. I'm not going to try it here.
So as the films progress, like Civil War, like you're starting to then work with Paul more, and there's like the seeds of that kind of relationship in there. There's that great like kitchen scene in that. Do you remember kind of like the discussion on and off set about like, oh, we're building to something potentially. We want to like kind of allude to where this is going.
Well, Paul's a very clever man, and starting in Ultron, he like really wanted us to like lean into it with the few opportunities we had, thinking like if we can really like tease this, maybe they'll have to do it, you know? And so I just like followed his lead.
So he's like pulling you off to the side and be like, I got a plan. Here's
Yeah, so like even when he was kind of just born in Ultron, you know, you're like thinking about that. You're thinking about the potential of where these characters do go in the comic books, and you're thinking about planting those seeds along the way. So like every opportunity we had, whether it was, you know, then in Civil War, which was a bit more laid out, like actually in the script, we were excited to kind of develop with that what their relationship was with one another, being these two real outsiders in this group. But I mean, I'm sure every character you can see how they're an outsider, but we really felt like the outsiders of the compound.
So building to Infinity War and Endgame, I mean, the scale is insane. So many characters to serve in those films.
So many. It's only gonna get wilder, it looks like.
I know. We'll get there too. Don't you worry. So, okay, Russo's. I don't know how they do what they do, but they somehow do it.
I don't know how anyone's doing what they're doing. There's so many stories, so many characters, and then you're throwing in like the Fox of it all, and the X-Men. I guess they've already blended those a bit.
We're starting to, it started already. So
I guess we did a little bit too with Pietro and WandaVision.
Exactly. So, do you remember like completed scripts? Like on those films in particular, do you get the full script or no?
No, Infinity War, I just got my pages.
Okay.
I think I got a hard copy, which is nice. They offer you, if you want to read the whole thing, to sit in an office with no windows.
Sounds so appealing.
And read it off an iPad that's locked. So you have that option if you want to know what's going on. But they were pretty good at letting us know what we needed. The truth is, you don't need to know everything to do your job. Like so I'm okay with that. But Infinity War, we just got our pages. Endgame, I don't think I saw a single page of a script. But I also was hardly in that movie.
Was there a bigger learning curve or discussion in someone explaining to you what the Infinity Stones were or the multiverse? Which was a longer, okay, let me sit you down and let me walk you through what's
That's a great question, because I still mess up the Infinity Stones. The multiverse, I think I have a knack, I understand that a lot more. The Infinity Stones, I couldn't tell you what each one was for.
The Mind Stone's the important one, because that's the key, obviously, at the end of Infinity War.
That was the last one.
Look at that.
Right?
Do you remember, so that's a scene I assume you get, that's the key moment in that film for you and Paul. I mean, that's an emotionally huge scene, just thematically. And then again, it's all the bells and whistles, all the effects and whatever that come in later. What do you remember about shooting that sequence?
Well, it was improvised.
How much of it was it? What do you mean?
It was mostly improvised. I would love to remember exactly what was on the page. I think Paul and I would both love to remember that. But Joe Russo looked at Paul and I, and they're like, yeah, you guys should come up with something. Like, you guys can come. And we're like, what? Because we found out that day, they took all of us into a trailer where they showed us, they do something called previs in these movies where, if you guys haven't heard about it before, they create basically like cartoon versions of the entire film. So that so it's like the physicality, they know what camera angles they need to move to or that they owe, and make sure that it's like all adding up correctly for a big fight sequence or something. And so with the previs, they showed us the animated version of like, and then dust. And so they showed us, like, or else we didn't, sorry, another spoiler, but I assume that's why you're here.
Imagine walking in here never having seen a Marvel movie.
Yeah, like, just really love Love and Death. Or Ingrid or whatever, like, just something so different. Yeah, so we didn't know how that movie ended until they took us into this trailer. And so I felt similarly to that with the Paul scene. And I knew that I was gonna have to stop Thanos and ruin the Mind Stone. At the same time, I knew that was like a physical thing I had to do. But the scene that was before, I think Paul made up those lines. I think.
Or is it completing with you to kind of make the choice, essentially?
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure to be like, improvise, this moment before you choose to kill him. But we did, and I'm really proud of what we did make. I think it's, again, like it's a funny atmosphere making these movies because there's so much happening all the time, and then you have to really try and tell the story, because ultimately it's like those relationships and those moments that are the thing that's like that you'll feel most as an audience member, and we don't take that for granted at all.
Do you remember, again, the nature of it, seeing the finished product, whether it's before the premiere or at the premiere?
It's during the premiere, yeah.
So at the premiere for Infinity War or Endgame, that must be so surreal for you.
I was so happy when I saw that. I was like, that's what happened? Great. I was really proud of us coming up with that.
So what about working with...
It's hard to show up to work and like not have something to prepare for, Yeah. I'm sure we all feel that way.
What about working, so on like Endgame, and throughout, you'd worked with Josh Brolin in the past.
Yeah.
And so working with Josh, what's that like? Again, you have like these dramatic moments, like that you took everything from me kind of like exchange.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was written.
What does he look like? Is he even there, like playing that moment?
Yeah, so what Josh looks like, he's in a skin-tight onesie that you would see on an infant. Like, not like the cute, not the ones that people wear when they're like, we're gonna be dinosaur pajamas, like when like have a hat, like it's not that. It's a skin tight as they get, latex onesie that's gray with like polka dots everywhere.
Did he wear the same thing on Old Boy just for fun? Was that?
Yeah, definitely not. He was like, I feel like he was like hardly clothed in Old Boy.
True. Yeah.
And then he has a huge rod that comes out of his head. Oh, he's in a helmet.
Sure.
He's in a helmet with like a lot of cameras on his face. His face has dots everywhere. And then he has a big rod that comes out of his head with 2 tennis balls at the top for his eyeballs. So those are Thanos' eyeballs. You can't look at his face. You always like I'd be doing this whole interview with you like this, and like trying to pretend that your mouth's not there.
The next time we do one of these, I'm totally.
So that's what it was like working with Josh as Thanos. Yeah. It's really funny. But I think luckily he like did come down to my level, so I was able to like, in one of the moments I was able to look at him in the eye, and not just like, that.
Is there a Marvel specific like stage direction you most dread seeing in a script? Like where are you at on like the wire work, the flying, the...
I love the wire work.
Yeah?
Yeah, that stuff. I mean, it was a learning curve, but it was. I don't like roller coasters, so now back to the neuroses. I'm just worried that like the one time I'm on it is when like something tragic's gonna happen, which is really selfish. Oh wow, my hair did something wild. Sorry. Which is like really, you know, a narcissistic thought of like, this is a time, like so stupid, but and not mathematically correct either with like probability. But I don't like the feeling of being out of control. Like I don't like speeding in a car. Like I don't, although like I enjoyed watching F1 because it's just like something I can live vicariously through, so I'll never do that. And the same with the wire work. The first time I did it was when we were in Scotland filming a sequence for Infinity War. I think it was like the opening sequence. And they had to just kind of show me what it felt like. And it was just the stunt unit at this time. And I just remember that feeling of my stomach leaving me, and I couldn't stop laughing for like 10 minutes because your diaphragm just had like a physical response, and so you're just like, it's just going like this, and you can't stop laughing. And now I really do love the wire work. It's not comfortable. I think the thing that I hated most, I think anytime it says like wet or rain or something, and like, so when I was reading the Multiverse of Madness script, I couldn't believe it. Like I was just like, okay, so I'm covered in blood, robot oil, then I get washed away, I'm soaking wet, we'll be on a cold stage in London, I'm gonna be soaking wet, and then you're gonna blow the biggest fan you've ever seen onto you. And I was like, Waldron, are you gonna now throw feathers on me? Like, what's gonna happen next? That's just physically uncomfortable, and you just have to make sure you don't get sick. Like that kind of stuff, because you work the next day and whatever. Like you just have to make sure you don't get sick. And so that's why I just like don't love doing that.
This is fair.
I mean, I feel like I'm like always cold and covered in blood and like most things anyway.
But that's your thing.
Yeah. So it's, you learn how to manage it, I guess.
Yeah. Let's talk about the amazingness that was WandaVision, which was what an unexpected gift. I mean, first Disney Plus show. I mean, I think Paul said before, like, he thought it was over, like, they were meeting with him. It's like, oh, this is where they say goodbye forever.
Yeah, he thought that. I didn't think that.
So when they
But again, Paul's a really good storyteller.
So when they come to you, did you see the opportunity immediately when they pitched you the concept? I mean, were you excited, nervous? What was your attitude when they came to you with WandaVision?
I thought Kevin was explaining it to me, and I thought it was a really smart concept. And it hadn't been fully thought of, like Jack wasn't on board yet, or Shackman. Like it was just an idea that Kevin had for his love of television as a little boy, and then incorporating that being the Hex and like her happy place, and I just thought it was so smart that if you're gonna do your first television show, I mean, obviously they decided to do 3 at the same time. I think we were supposed to come out second actually, but I think what ended up happening was our show was just finished first, and so we were the first. But I just thought it was so smart to use the television medium that way. You know, these are characters that we see on huge screens that are, you know, Greek mythic superheroes, and it's hard to, you know, obviously like growing up with Batman and Robin, you kind of are like making jokes about like bam, pow, and stuff like that as you're a kid. And it doesn't elevate the characters as much, and I think like what we became used to as a culture. And so it was kind of intimidating to shrink those characters to a home screen for like that is the only medium that it will be watched on. And I just thought it was really smart to tell a story about like through television.
Yes.
And so I thought it was quite clever, and I was really excited about it and scared because Disney Plus hadn't even launched yet.
Right.
And so you're also saying, and it's going to come up on your on your television like Netflix does. And you're like, what? Disney Plus, what? Like,
right.
And now we've all become so used to it so quickly. But we were the first original show that Disney Plus launched at all.
And but also just from an acting perspective, look, you, like the sum of all your appearances in Wanda up until then,
Yeah.
who knows what that amounted to, and then you really get to like dive in really deep into like a really like, yeah, there's the meta quality, there's the cool like way it's like approached, but this is like a huge arc for her dealing with grief and depression and like, you know, take away the Marvel stuff, it's still a hugely dramatic challenge for you as an actor. It must have felt a little bit like apples and oranges in a way, or just like getting...
I think it just felt like a gift, really. Like I was just excited to you know, I was doing a show that not many people saw because again, it was like on a platform called Facebook Watch or something, and they don't even do original shows anymore. And I was doing a TV show. I think it was our second season of it before we did WandaVision. And so I felt really well oiled for television. I know that might sound weird, but I felt like I knew how to do it. And I think there's some weird way that show prepped me, not just because it was also about grief, but it did like prep me for WandaVision, just like how much we would have to be worked, like how hard those days are.
And did you revel in famously the first episode, the studio audience episode?
Yeah, that was so scary.
The physical comedy, like, yeah, was that something you leaned into, that you were scared of?
I mean, I grew up watching Nick at Night. I think it still exists, but it was like its own. It was only Nick at Night. Like now it's like its own station or something. But I would watch I Love Lucy and Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie, and so I felt like I understood what that would be. And it was so scary. Like the first episode, we literally shot, and I don't know if all of you guys know this, but we literally shot in front of a live studio audience, the way they would the Dick Van Dyke Show. And we had cameras moving, filming us. Like that is how we shot the first episode. It was the fastest thing I've ever filmed in my entire life, because you just do a 30-minute play and you have multiple cameras going on. And we did a couple pickups for the things where it just becomes a little more cinematic, but that's it.
And Paul
it was just like 2 days of shooting.
He didn't want to do that, right?
He was trying to get us all together. Paul wanted to get us all together and say, we are not shooting it like this. You're setting us up to fail, because we hadn't shot anything yet. This was how we were coming out of the gate, like straight out of a 2-week sitcom boot camp, basically, so we can all be on the same page with references, which I thought was so smart. That Matt Shackman was like adamant about giving us those 2 weeks of rehearsals. You never get rehearsals for this stuff. And so he really wanted to make sure that we all were speaking the same language. And yeah, Paul really wanted to tear it down, but he had the time of his life. Afterwards, he was like, I think I want to be a sitcom actor for the rest of my life. Like, you know, he loves the instant gratification of people laughing so much and applauding. Like, Paul loves that so much. They gave him so much fuel. And so like, he was just like, we do this all the time afterwards.
That tracks, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the now famous interaction, the what is grief if not love, persevering, which has become, became instantly iconic.
Yeah.
What do you remember about shooting that scene? And
we were, Paul and I are both like, I wouldn't say over-preparers, but we prepare ahead of time. Like we always know what comes the following week, and so we kind of ask that of everyone. So if there's dialogue that you felt like wasn't really exactly what you wanted it to be, we always ask people to not show up that day to take the time, because we had to move so quickly, because we're filming, how long is it? 4 hours, I think, or 3.5 hours, something like that, of television in the same amount of time they give us to film a movie. And so we're working twice as fast. And so we just wanted people to like know what they were doing. So for like weeks, Paul flagged that line when it was written. He would know exactly what was written before, but he was just like, it's not exactly what I feel like it's supposed to be. I feel like we can make this better. Like, I just feel like there's like a word we're not thinking of. And it was Jack's assistant, Jack Schaefer, our showrunner and creator, writer. It was her assistant that came up with the word persevering, I guess. But that was like a few weeks of a conversation, that one line. And so it was nice that kind of effort and energy and thoughtfulness had the impact that like Paul really knew it could.
Must be surreal, like, conventions like this, I'm sure people, I don't know.
I'm sure for him, he loves it, right? Because he came up with, he like was like, no, we gotta make this better.
Becoming just a roast of Paul Bettany over here.
I miss him, that's why.
So we've talked before about, like, and we've talked with others about kind of like move very quickly into multiverse, which is like an odd circumstance where like you're shooting this, you have no idea.
Well, also, let's throw in a pandemic. So we hadn't finished filming WandaVision, and then we stopped because the world stops, obviously. And we have been making a show about a bubble, which was really wild. And then we returned. We're one of the first shows that are cleared to go back to work after the 3-month. There was like a 3-month pause, which is crazy. It was only 3 months, but we were able to get back to work because Disney, being the size of a company that it is, they were able to have nurses.
Right, their own infrastructure to make it whole, yeah.
And so we were able to go back because we were able to figure out how to do it as safely as possible. And there was no breakout, and we worked for a month after. So the system, that was working. But we were doing all exteriors. Luckily, that was what we had left, were just everything that was outside. So for COVID, that was great. And then there were like LA fires or something, which wasn't great for exteriors, and we like had to stop because of smoke inhalation. But anyway, we do that. And around the same time, while we're waiting to go back to WandaVision, I'm waiting to find out what I'm doing in Doctor Strange. I just know I'm in it. And I think I'm part of an ensemble.
This makes me feel so much better because I think back to like my interviews with you at the time, like asking you what you're, and you didn't.
I'm always like, I don't know.
And you really didn't know.
Yeah. I had no idea what my role was in Multiverse of Madness. And then I think it was a week before I go back to finish WandaVision, they tell me I'm the villain.
Like, okay, that's a big role, that's good, but
I thought I was part of like 3 of them or something. Like, are you guys introducing someone? And it was just, sorry. I'm so sorry. When we take photos, it'll be so fast, and I won't cough on you. I won't, like, we'll be really healthy and safe. And when we do signatures, I'm gonna wear a mask so no one gets sick, because that's when we have more time face to face. And so just so you know, that's my plan, because I don't want to be a spreader of a cold. And it is just a cold while I'm speaking about a pandemic. So I had no idea about what that part was, and then they're just explaining it to me, and it wasn't until I think while I was finishing WandaVision I even got a script. And so I was trying to have this like back and forth of, well, this is what we shot for WandaVision. and so like, maybe we can incorporate that into the movie. But I mean, obviously they were also communicating within the company to everyone who was on Doctor Strange, but still we hadn't finished the show, so like they couldn't watch a complete show and know how to have a fluid transition. So like it was just a big dialogue, but I had no idea I was going to be the villain.
it's good you had someone like Raimi at the helm, the chillest guy on set somehow.
God, what a sweetie.
Right.
Chillest, sweetest, as Sam Raimi, like he just, whatever you want to try, he thinks like, yeah, let's take the time and let's try it. And so he's just such a collaborator and such a sweet, kind man, which is so funny considering how disturbing all of his films are. But of course.
Very true. So where are you at right now we know we're all going to enjoy Doomsday pretty soon. We're very excited about that.
Yeah, I am too.
Do you have inside intel? Do you have someone on the inside that's giving you all the details? What do you, like how much, I'm not obviously asking you to tell me, but do you know a lot about what happens in Doomsday?
I know nothing. I know about Vision Quest.
Right.
Because I've seen Paul in the last 6 months. And I know nothing about any of it.
Do you know about Secret Wars?
Is that what happens after? I'm not kidding.
You're a good actor. We can't tell. We don't know.
I'm not kidding. Is Secret...
Yes, that's the next
Why
one.
did I think there were like 2 Secret Wars? Are there not?
There's good. Well, it has been a couple times in the comics, but no, there's going to be at least one Secret Wars movie, unless you want to break news that there are 2 Secret Wars movies right now.
I thought they were both called. I thought there was like an umbrella. Because, I mean, they've been talking about these movies for a while and it shifted.
Yes.
So there was an umbrella of wars.
Well, there was the Kang Dynasty, which then became.
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm thinking.
We worked through it. We got there.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking, is that there was like a dynasty that came.
Do you like, when you hear in the ether or someone like me says like Secret Wars or Doomsday, do you like Google, go on Wikipedia, like what that is out of curiosity, or you just wait for them to tell you when it's time to be told?
Honestly, I don't know what's going on. It's safer for me to not know anything. Because then I can't make a mistake in a situation like this. So I know nothing. And I rather know nothing, to be honest, because I do say, I mean, even on your show, we filmed stuff where I think I even said stuff that in hindsight you're like, oh, did I just actually give away Endgame or something? I was like, they all die or whatever, or Infinity War or whatever it was, and I like think I did say how it ended. It's like I don't want to know. I shouldn't know. No one should tell me anything. And so that's just kind of how I operate. That's why I always feel weird because I think sometimes like a sentence gets like whatever, if anyone pays attention or cares, but like a sentence sometimes in an interview will be taken out of context, and I'll be really bothered by that because I'm not being dismissive about it. I just genuinely, it's better for me not to know. Tell me what I need to know when I need to know it, because I don't want to spoil it. I go to these conventions a few times a year, and I certainly don't want to mess it up for anyone.
And what is your attitude as your career progresses of returning to Wanda? I mean, Loki's been killed 6 times, but Tom Hiddleston keeps coming back. It doesn't matter if you die, obviously, in comics.
Yeah. Well, he's a specific character with death, right? Does he actually die? Can he actually die?
He has.
He has died. Yeah. Well.
At this point, do you offer up ideas of things that you'd like to see Wanda do, or again, I'm ready when they find me?
I have offered up things I would like to do. It's been a minute since I've had those types of conversations. It's usually while we're working and we're talking about the next one. No, my whole thing is, if I can serve a story and help, and we can use this character to make that story better, instead of it just being thrown in there just for a secret or something, then I would be so excited to do that. I just want to be of service to telling these stories better each time.
And what's it like for you? I mean, again, we're at C2E2. I'm sure you're going to see some Wandas maybe today. To see the folks in costume every Halloween at conventions. It has this whole second life that must be, I don't know, nurturing and surprising.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, the thing that I'm always most amazed by is the ingenuity of the people who are making the costumes, because I actually, the amount of people who are making these costumes on these movies are a staff of 60 people in a warehouse. And then you're at a convention and you ask someone, did you make that? And they're like, yeah, I did. And you're like, it's crazy. It took 60 people to make what I was making. There's someone who deals with rubber, someone who deals with painting rubber, someone who deals with, the stitching of the costume. And then you come here and people have made their costume completely and it looks exactly like a replica. So I'm always just amazed by people's skills and commitment. And I love getting to see that.
I hope someone comes dressed in the Josh Brolin, not as Thanos, but what he dresses as.
Yeah. I'm sure there are BTS images so people can get a real detail to look at it, because you guys are so good at picking up on all the details.
Is there any evidence in your home of Marvel, of have you kept anything? Is there toys or keepsakes or anything from your Marvel tenure?
No, I don't think so. Largely because you can't keep anything. It all goes into a safe.
Right.
I'm trying to think. I've like tried to borrow a wig before. I wasn't allowed to. No, I don't think so. I think I do have a box in my house of just like some of the like bobbleheads and posters that I really loved, just to like have. I don't know at what point in my life I take them out and I'm like, remember? Like, but I have that for that purpose. Like, I don't really know at what point I'll reflect back on it, but I think the WandaVision bobbleheads are so cute. Or
Funkos, yeah.
Funkos. They just make me so happy. Or even like I don't know, there's so, like some of them are like glow in the dark. And I don't know, they're really cute to me. So I like collecting those and putting them in a little box.
Well, we thank you for rallying for us for an hour to talk all things Marvel. We're going to wish you well. You're going to have a good day today. Meeting all fans.
I'm not going to get anyone sick today.
She didn't spoil anything. Well done, which is unprecedented for us. You did a good job. Give it up one more time for Elizabeth Olsen, everybody.